Hi, greetings everybody who's tuned into this live. I was just speaking to a famous music artist who's based in the USA. Her name is Melody. I think you can find her on Instagram. Melody creates music, and we're talking about her move back to Africa because she came here early this year, sometime in January. She was in Africa in a country called Zambia. And after that experience that she had such a good experience here that she decided to go back to the US. But when she went back to the USA, what happened is that she made up her mind that, you know what, I'm moving back. I'm moving back to Africa. I'm migrating there and I'm going to settle there. And I still feel that that was one of the best decisions that she could have made. Why am I saying this? We're living in a world right now that is unsafe. We're living in a world where we are facing so many challenges. Stress levels are so high. People are working so many jobs and they hardly know what it is to rest. They hardly have time for their families. You really need to navigate through a lot of those things and figure out where do I fit in this kind of society. When do I see myself living a life where I am stress free? I have less so many tasks and things to do besides work. And besides that, in a place where there's racial tension and all these things that just like make it very hard for people of color to thrive and just live normally like any other person. And so basically, this is what I'm trying to do on this channel, the African Diaspora Unity. It's a channel that has a vision to educate and to remove a lot of misconceptions and fears about living in Africa, about relocating to Africa. You know, one thing I can tell you is that way back in the colonial days, way back in the slave master days, and that was way back, nobody had misconceptions about coming to colonize Africa. They sure didn't have any misconceptions when they got on those ships and decided to come here and settle in Africa and colonize. There were no fears. But funny enough, today you find people having misconceptions and saying, "How are you going to survive in Africa? What where most businesses fail, most people who went from America to Africa failed when they got there and things didn't turn out the way they expected them to turn out." I'm telling you, if you're thinking like this, then you're not African. Why am I saying that? Because this is your land. This is your land, your origin of land. Whether you believe it or not, this is your land. Why? This land is a land that's full of and rich in heritage, a land that speaks to your forefathers, a land that commands blessings upon your life. Um, why would you ever think that it's a land that is against you in any way? No, it's not, and this is the misconception that I'm trying to clear. That's why this misconception has led, unfortunately, a lot of Africans to leave Africa thinking that they're going to paradise. And when they get to the so-called paradise, some of them don't even get there. They even die halfway, unfortunately. But when they get there, they find something totally different. They are now in a society that they're not used to. They have to deal with racial tensions. They have to deal with so many things that subdue, that reduce them to what they're not accustomed to. And this is why it's so important to educate. It's so important to um, allude or um, eliminate your fears about relocating to the promised land, which is Africa. Why do I call it the promised land? This is the promised land. I believe that Martin Luther King saw Africa. I don't believe that Martin Luther King saw the promised land as the United States. I know during the civil rights movement that was the major thing that he was trying to talk and get his people through. But I can tell you, the promised land is Africa. I believe that Martin Luther King's in his real dream saw Africa. He saw a land full of African people. He saw a land where people were treated with respect and were not treated with disrespect and racial tensions. He saw a land where people of all races were able to work together, do things together, despite your race, despite where you are from. You were all seen as one. And unfortunately, that dream that he saw didn't have in the. If you're saying that that dream was meant for the United States, to me, that dream hasn't been realized up to now. In fact, that dream, that dream came to an end. Sorry to say, like a long time ago, because so many civil rights movements and so many movements sprang up after him, trying to continue to educate and to eliminate and try to build up, the fears and the doubts that black brothers and sisters had amongst each other that to this day have caused them to kill each other in the United States, that have caused them to have so much questions. And so, what I want to say is that, this channel is not there to divide, this channel is there to educate, this channel is there to build up, and remove any fears that may exist about the whole philosophical aspect of thinking that Africa is a dark continent, but thinking that Africa is a place where there's nothing going on. Let me tell you something. The most expensive diamonds in the world are found here in Africa. Africa discovered the biggest diamond in the world found here in Africa. The size bigger than my fist was found here in Africa. Our reserves of diamonds, the most expensive, the most expensive diamond is found here in Africa, and they're in abundance, and our reserves are still full. No matter how many diamonds have left Africa and they're going to Europe and they're going all over, the diamond miners will tell you that they are still discovering tons and tons of diamonds are found in this so-called dark continent, this so-called fourth world, whatever they call it. We have coltan, the mineral that makes all those iPhones, coming from just one country here, the DRC, Republic of Congo. And that mineral is making iPhone 13s. It's making all the cell phone components that require that. It's coming from here in Africa. What else can I talk about? We want to talk about gold. The biggest gold reserves are found here in Africa. From Cape to Cairo, there's no country that doesn't have gold reserves in Africa. What else can we talk about? Copper. The largest copper reserves were found in Zambia, found in the DRC Congo, and they're being mined here in Africa by countries from all over the world, from Australia, China. They're all mining this expensive commodity that's used to make, that's a good conductor of electricity, first of all, and that's very expensive, and it's used in so many ways, whether it's electrification, whether it's anything that's got to do with conducting electricity. And It's being used to build and develop countries. And where is it coming from? Here in Africa. So I could just go on and on to educate you, for you to see that the most expensive minerals are found here in Africa. And let's go to climate. Let's talk about the climate in Africa. We say that Europe has the best weather. Let me tell you something. I'm an airline pilot. I've traveled worldwide. There's no country I haven't been to. I can tell you, climates are different everywhere. Here in Africa, we've got a balanced climate. Why am I saying balanced climates? We don't have any typhoons. We don't get any hurricanes that come from some of the regions. They literally die out by the time they're getting towards Africa. So we just get a tip of those heavy winds and cold fronts. But when you're looking at other countries, it's a different story. Some countries have got earthquakes. We don't have earthquakes to the point where I mean it's happened before in Africa. I'm not saying it hasn't happened in I think, is it Haiti, or it has happened before, but it's not a common phenomenon. And it's not a common phenomenon for us to have an unbalanced climate. Even though we're having climate change issues, you'll find that the weather in Africa is still balanced. You're still inhaling clean air compared to carbon polluted air that we're finding overseas. And some of the countries, when you go to, I've flown to Asia and China's, and I mean, there's a fog. You think it's weather, but it's air pollution just as you're entering the country. So, when you look at all those aspects, why would you want to say that moving to Africa is the worst thing I could consider? I watched this other documentary where I saw somebody trying to portray and say why Africa is so poor. I'm thinking to myself, what on earth is this person talking about? How is Africa poor if diamonds are found here? How is Africa poor if three-quarters of the mineral resources are found here? Yes, we can talk about wealth management. That's a different aspect. But you're talking about the continent being poor, meaning that we're just dependent on other nations. And here in the African Diaspora Unity channel, I want to eliminate those lies. What we have in Africa is mainly government issues, government structural issues, things that are government related that are causing, we've got some leaders who haven't stepped down and things like that. That's a topic for its own. But that doesn't quantify and qualify Africa to be poor. Not at all, because the governments here in Africa are paying. They are paying for all the contractors and international contractors who are coming to build and develop this country. They are being paid. Billions of US dollars are being paid. And even though, yes, you've got bilateral agreements where China, for example, will say, oh, we're going to develop this and we're going to mine this. But at the end of the day, that doesn't still quantify and qualify Africa to be a poor country and continent. And that really, really, really made me make this video, because I just feel that it's about time that people get to hear the truth about Africa, that somebody stands up and speaks about the beauty of Africa, and the beauty of its people. We are a people that not only do we have a moral obligation to treat people right, but I don't think you're going to find any African nation that's busy scheming how they can go and cause war in European countries. No, we are not that kind of people. We are people that embrace change. We embrace anything that's got to do with development and information and technology. We're a people that are loyal and that will do whatever it takes to work together. But we're not a violent people, that I can assure you. Um, and so I'm trying to clear a lot of misconceptions. I can go on and on. Basically, what I'm trying to say is, if you're a Black American out there and you're based in the USA, and you're thinking to yourself, it's time for me to um, leave the USA and go somewhere. Let me tell you something. It's time for you to come back here to Africa. It's time for you to relocate and come back to your roots here in Africa. Africa will embrace you. Don't listen to any lies about Africans saying they'll hate on, they're going to be hated when they come here and things like that. Trust me, we will love our fellow Black brothers and sisters. We want you here in Africa. We want you to make up your mind and come. Right now, there are a lot of Black Americans who are moving to Africa, and they're relocating here. And I'm embracing many more of you to please come and join this channel, like and subscribe. Whatever questions that you have, I can answer those questions. I'm an airline pilot. I travel throughout the regions of Africa. There's no place I haven't been in my experience. So you're talking to somebody who's qualified to give you the answers. I'm not talking based on things that I've seen on TV or heard from people. I've actually touched on that, landed on that soil, met the cultures, adapted to the cultures, understood what's going on, and things like that. So I can give you a clear perspective of almost most of the countries here in Africa. And yeah, I've also been overseas as well, maybe even to the very state where you have been. So I've been privileged to move around and see a lot of places and get to know other countries and whatever. And that's why I started this channel. I started this channel to bring back Black pride, to make people understand that you come from a powerful lineage. You know, your history is blessed. As a Black person, you are never meant to. You were never born to beg, or you are born to reign. You are destined to reign. You are destined to rule as a king, as a queen, anywhere on this planet, and even better here in Africa on this soil. The moment you come back to this country and this continent, everything is going to work in your favor. Um, Unfortunately, a lot of Black Americans have been in the USA for a long time, and they haven't realized some of the dreams that they wanted to realize, to accomplish. And it's not their fault. It's not your fault. I always believe that you will accomplish and realize things when you move from Israel to the promised land, you know. And Moses had to move his people from, you know, from Israel. He had to move them from that terrible place where they could not thrive and take them to the land flowing with milk and honey. And you see, this is what I'm trying to get across to you, is that yes, it's the land flowing with milk and honey. It has been portrayed as the land where there's starvation. It has been portrayed as so many bad things. But why don't you just come down? Why don't you come over and see it for yourself? Better yet, I'm going to show you. I'm going to put up videos and show you the beauty of Africa. I'm telling you, there's some times that I drive around. I'm based here in South Africa. I'm originally from Zambia. It's at the border of South Africa and Zambia and Zimbabwe, Zambia, Botswana, and Namibia. We are all bordering countries, and there's sometimes when you just drive here in Africa, and I'm telling you, you'll be amazed. The beauty is beyond what you can imagine. I mean, I've seen these same landscapes in Europe. I've seen these same landscapes overseas. They're there. Everything is here. And so, please, make up your mind. Decide. The time is now. Why would you want to decide to move and relocate to Africa when you have very few years left in your life? Why would you want to do that in your 60s? Why don't you do it now? I urge the youth to consider this. We need you. We need your skills. You're entrepreneurs. You've studied in those prestigious universities, but a university is a university. And whether you studied in Harvard, which is, well, hailed as, or Princeton or whatever, remember that an education is an education. The same thing that you are taught there is the same thing that's being taught in the UK's, is the same thing that's being taught in Australia, is the same thing that's being taught here. And don't get into this misconception that because I've done this in America, then it qualifies it to be better than anything else anywhere else in the world. No, that's not true. You've been lied to. I'm sorry to say. When you come here to Africa, when you go to Asia, you go to Australia, you go to any of these other countries, you will find that their technology, you'll find that what they're doing is almost as equal, if not even maybe even better than what is going on right now in the same continent of the USA. So it's for you to make up your mind, open up your mind and consider relocating, back to the promised land, the land which Martin Luther King, I believe, saw, and he said, one day, whenever I listen to that speech, it's moving. That speech is spiritual. It's not just a speech. It causes. You can play that speech anywhere, and people stop what they're doing. They stop, like they just stop right there. Because the words of the words he pronounces, promised land, how he pronounces, I will get. One day I will get to that promised land. Meaning, like, it's symbolic. It's like Moses leading his people to the promised land. You know what I'm saying? It's like our people who came on slave ships returning back home. You know, returning back home to where they belong, to where they were respected, to where they were not beaten up and ill treated, to where there were kings and queens, to where they had a say, to where they owned land and they were landlords, and now they became slaves. Just think about it. Like, if you think about it, it's so powerful. And so I want all of you who are watching to know that you were born to reign. You were born to prosper. You were born to succeed. Don't let anybody pull you down. Don't let any lies of the past continue to pull you down. Back here in Africa, you are born to reign. This is your country. This is your land. When you come back here, you're coming here to possess what belongs to you. You're not coming to struggle. You're not coming to worry about people. No one moves here with guns and things like that. You're not coming here to live in fear. No. You're coming to a place where people are going to value you. It doesn't matter how much money you have. If you're not valued, you got people in Hollywood, you got people overseas who are killing themselves. They're hanging themselves. Why? Because they are not valued. Because they're empty. Because society has continued to fail to show them that they're not going to embrace them. You got celebrities who, when they stepped overseas, people in a shop didn't even recognize who they were. Just think about that. Somebody who's known worldwide, somebody who can even be a billionaire, but the moment they step overseas and enter a simple small shop which claims to be selling some expensive accessories and stuff like that, they are not even acknowledged. They don't even know who that person is. They don't care. Just has to show you that you were born for a purpose. There's something great about you. Stop listening to lies. When I really got disturbed when one of these celebrities, who has a lookalike somewhere here in Africa, and he was asked, on the Breakfast Club there in America, whether he should communicate with that person. And he was quick to say, oh, hell no. I'm thinking to myself, like, really? I mean, have we reached that point where, as a fellow black person, you actually can deny your birthright? Because that's your birthright. Africa is your birthright. Whether you believe it or not, Africa is your birthright. It is the land that has been promised by God onto your life for prosperity, for blessing, for everything. And as long as you are living in a land that's got so much to deal with, a land where the land was literally stolen, you're living in a land where you might say, yeah, it's the promised land, but it's not the promised land. It's not the promised land. You know, I'm not here to discourage you. I love the USA. I love all these other countries, but what I want to tell you is that, you know, it's time for you to open up and think about, you know, your future, to think about your children and the generations ahead. You know, they have a future as well, you know. And I'm there to try and enlighten you to see that your roots and where you come from are so important for you to know your roots, and for you to dig into those roots. And your peace and your prosperity, they're all tied together, they're all in one. And so, if you're watching this video and it has encouraged you, please, um, I advise you to share this video to as many people as you can. Share this video. Like and subscribe, of course, but share this video. You know, I'm not coming on YouTube for numbers and figures. Like I said, I'm born to reign. I don't need YouTube. You know what I'm saying? What I need is for every black person, for every black brother and sister, to stop living in fear. What I need is for them to hear this message, and for them to get out of any misconception that they have about making a decision to come here to Africa. Let me tell you, that's what I'm interested in. I don't care about any likes or anything like that. I'm born to reign. I have land here in Africa. I have a gold mine. I own land. I own things. I'm not lacking nothing. You know, African people are the wealthiest people in the world. We had the wealthiest person that ever lived on the world. Mansa Musa was found here in Africa. He owned more gold, more jewelry than any king or queen, or any queen of England and whatever. All got those minerals. They all came from Africa. So I'm not there to beg. I'm born to reign. I'm born to rule. This is my destiny. You know, I know who I am as an African. And so I'm not defined by social media. I'm not defined by any of those things. But I must carry out, just like my fellow brothers and sisters, the late um, Khalid Mohammed, the Honorable Louis Farrakhan, and all those running those movements that I so respect, that they spoke with boldness, they spoke the truth, they stood for educating and showing Black people that they're important in society, and that they do have a place from where they originate from. And they were born for a purpose. And that's what I stand for. I don't stand for racial segregation and all these things. I don't stand for that. But I stand for people beginning to understand their origin and who they are, and having belief in themselves, and that, you know, you are created. It doesn't matter what race you are, but you are created for a purpose, and you must take pride in that purpose. Whether you are Italian, whether you are Russian, or whichever country, you must take pride in that. And all these other countries, they take pride in where they come from. The Russians take pride in where they come from. The Germans take pride in where they come from. But why is it that the Africans don't take pride in where they come from? Why is it that the Black Americans don't want to identify and take pride in where they truly originate from? That's my question. And that's what I'm here to talk about. And if I'm not talking for everybody, but I'm talking for those who have those misconceptions. I know to some of you others, you don't have those misconceptions. You totally understand, and you totally believe that you know everything that's happening around you is not your problem. You understand that we are on the same wavelength, and so I support you for that. But I'm talking to those that I'm talking to those. Sorry, I'm talking to those that need to hear this. Please share this video. If you can do me one favor, share this video. Like and subscribe, of course, but share this video. That's what I believe, that the ancestors here in Africa, your forefathers, your great great forefathers, did not die in vain. Even the ones that died in the plantations, they said that the next superstar, the next athlete is going to come from this generation. And they did. And they said that some of the greatest storytellers, some of the greatest singers, some of the greatest music producers, movie producers will come from us, and it happens. And so likewise, I want to say that, and continue with that same spirit to say, out of this video shall birth a lot of fellow black brothers and sisters who are going through a lot right now. I really feel for you, and I really love and support you, and I really want you to know that I'm on your side, and I want you to engage with me. I want you as much as possible to communicate. My email address is down there. Please drop me an email, speak. It's called the African Diaspora Unity, because it's about us unifying together. And I want us to do that. I want to help you as much as I can, relocate and come back here. And I want to help you with the right people for you to see and talk to and things like that. And any information that you might want, please don't hesitate. Thanks so much for watching. I gotta say peace out here, because it's a little late here, right? Over 2 a.m. or something like that. So I'm gonna call it a night. But I just thought that I should make this video. And it's nothing sketched or anything like what this video is. Just authentic. It's the way it is. I'm speaking to you the way it is. It's either you take what I'm saying, or you can just leave it, but I'll just tell you the truth and tell it to you as it is, and the rest is with you. I look forward to hearing from you. God bless you wherever you are. May God protect you. May the real God that we worship, the God of Abraham, Jacob, and our Father Jesus Christ, his Son Jesus Christ, may he continue to guide you and bless you and keep you and protect you until you come back to the motherland, and come to the land flowing with milk and honey, and come and partake of your prosperity. Have a beautiful evening or day or whatever time it is from wherever you're watching. Bye.